Hi guys, here we are with the new live. This time we have a guest. Soon he will come. Tim Huynh will be our guest today. So I am waiting. I want to say thank you to all the people subscribing to my The Street Photography channel, to this channel. We have more of 3,000 of subscribers, and we are already YouTube partners. So I think that for a channel that is mostly focused on street photography, it is a great result, because to create something on YouTube dedicated to real street photography, it's something very important, especially because street photography, as we will see also with our guest team, many times is a genre that is completely misunderstood. We can see also on TikTok photographers making classic portrait staged portrait photography with bokeh, calling that as a street photography just because it's on the street. And there is this misunderstanding to believe that street photography is something that just because it's on the street, it's a street photography. But it's not. Street photography is a genre with its history, its aesthetics, its proper aesthetics. So without the need to imposing rules, creative rules, because it's not the case with me, but we had to study, we had to know what is street photography, no? And it is a peculiar genre, different from photojournalism, but is not what when you make a research on Google or also on Instagram, it appears anything, and is not correct. So let's wait, Tim. We will ask. I have some questions for him. You know, Tim Huynh is the director of Field the Frame, the documentary that is available on YouTube for free. So in the channel Word on Street by Tim Huynh. So I think that is interesting to see with him what is also we will talk about the documentary Field the Frame, for sure. It is one of the most interesting street photography documentary available on YouTube. Here it is. I had Tim right now.
Okay.
Let me see if
Let's see.
anything is working. Okay.
How's it going? Good morning. Man, I just
Good morning.
I just
Direct
got my
from
coffee.
Hawaii, Mexico, Hawaii.
Yeah, not it's close by. We're like neighbors.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Yes,
Okay.
we can say this. Depends. Mexico City is not that close, of course, no?
Oh yeah, it's more south. Yeah. Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah. What
So,
time is it there?
Tim,
10 minutes? Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I introduced this live, and right now I want to ask you to make a presentation of yourself as a street photographer, what you like, and the experience you have as a photographer, no?
Okay, kind of like a introduction.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Are we on YouTube? Are we on live now?
Yes, we are live. Already we are live, yes.
Okay.
You
So
didn't get...
so now I can
Okay,
start.
I'm sorry.
We're live, but I'm still trying to be awake. No, okay. So, well, first how I got into it was back in 2010. Well, I never knew what street photography was. Until 2010, I was living in Chicago for a year, and at the internship I was at, the other intern showed me Vivian Meyer's work. So this was before the whole thing blew up, right? So this was like the infancy stage of it. And so his friend was John Maloof, the guy that directed and found Vivian Meyer's
Yes.
negative. So he was like, "Hey, Tim, man, my friend, he went to the storage and he's been, scanning all these negatives for these past month, and he made the website and has been getting a lot of attention in Europe." And so he showed me the photos, and then I don't know, for some reason I was just blown away from it, like the street photographs and then her portraits and then self portraits. I think being in Chicago at the time, and she made a lot of her work in Chicago, really inspired me. Like it made me think, oh, I can do this too, you know. But I think just photos of the 50s and like the 50s, 60s, the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
I really like nostalgia. I really like film noir and all like old cinema. I like that. So it just connected with me on all cylinders. So later that day, I went home and continued to look at the website, her work, and I thought to myself, man, I'm in Chicago. I can do something like that here. So I would go out with my camera like the next day or two and try to do street photography. And man, I was like, oh, this is hard. Like, how does she do that? And I think it being hard the first day, like, it made me more interested in it, because it feels
Yes.
easy. It feels easy. I'll be like, okay, she got it like this, and okay, I'm good. I don't need to do this anymore. But because it was hard and my shots were blurry and then my shots were uninteresting, like, I don't know, for some reason, I think a lot of new people to street photography, including myself at that time, we think of street photography is of people of homeless. I don't know. That's what I thought. Like, I always thought at that time, street photography is black and white and like photos of homeless people. Because even like today, like people in Hawaii, like when they, like friends and stuff, sometimes they'll send me a photo of like a homeless person they took just as a joke. Like, oh, this is street photography. They don't know anything about it, but to them, they think that's what street photography is, right? So,
Yes.
but yeah, it was really that moment. And then once I came back to Hawaii, I tried to do it, and like I remember at that time there wasn't really much people online, like maybe 2011, 12. Like I think it was just like the people that had blogs where I remember seeing your blog online, and
Mm-hmm.
I think only you and Eric Kim was the only two active blogs.
Yes. Yes.
And I remember
Yes.
like
That
it's
time
like
was like a pioneeristic age for street photography, no? Because it was a change. Of course, street photography as genre was born in the 60s, no?
Yeah, I think it
The
really took off.
crystallization of street
Yeah,
photography.
yeah, it probably really blew up
Exactly.
in that time, 60s. Yeah,
But I feel that in 2011 we started something. It was starting something more connected, of course, with the social media, with Instagram that was new that time, no? So
yeah,
we did have the blogs, and we started to make this. I consider
yeah,
myself right now partially uh, guilty to create too much attention forward street photography, because we will talk about this. No, it is good, but also is an issue. It is a problem. No, all this exposure, all this boom of street photography. Sometimes, no.
yeah. I mean, that was like 2012. I just saw somebody comment a blast from the past with the Eric Kim. Yeah, that time was like there was no Instagram, right? And then Facebook. I wasn't using Facebook for street photography. You know, I
Mhm.
just use it for like personal stuff, and then I think a little bit after the Facebook groups kind of blew up. And Instagram was like 2015, 2016. But I'm usually late to all the social media apps anyway. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just remember seeing your blog and reading that, which was good, and then like some Magnum stuff. But outside of online, I just
In
always looked at
public,
photo books.
there was in public.
I didn't even know in public because I
Ah,
didn't
okay,
because if I searched street photography and you weren't on the first, like you're not the first four ones that come up.
okay.
I don't look past that. So it's like you're probably up there, and then Eric Kim was up there too, you know, and then that's yeah.
And for the masters, after Vivian Mayer, you discovered other photographers. What?
Oh,
Uh,
after her, who would I? I mean, my top three that I like is I like her. I like William Eggleston, and
okay,
the third one's always if I had to fit the third one, could be Alex. Well, third one is always a toss up. Depends on the day. But
okay.
I love William Eggleston just because just the time he shot, like when at the time when people like
But
his peers.
before
Yeah,
before you knew street photography, you were photographing other kinds of things, no?
yeah.
As a
Before
photographer.
street, yeah, I was just doing. Well, my background work is video work, and then
Ah, okay,
I would just take photos of like just landscape or just whatever. I guess
okay.
that is a form of street photography, but yeah, nothing really serious outside of that.
You represent in some way a critic voice about the current state of street photography, in particular with festivals, no, or
Yeah,
awards. No?
we just posted one today with Lintaro. It's on his channel.
Mhm.
I still have to watch it. Watch it after this interview, but definitely check it out. It sounds like it's a good one. Um, but yeah, the whole street photography game on YouTube, especially like a lot of young people and just people that are new to the genre, they learn street photography from YouTube. Especially when I talk to some people here, like they tell me, yeah, I just go to YouTube and search anything street photography. So for me, when I look at the street photography landscape on YouTube, very um it's very gear heavy. It's always focused on gear, which is fine because that's what people are gonna look up and search. And then there's a lot of POV video. you know, like they put the GoPro and they film. So I would do that before, but then I was like, to me, I'm not interested in that. So why would I film that myself, you know? So I rather just do more commentary and give my opinion on the state of street photography, what's going on in street photography, or contests or photos. To me, that's something that I like to do. And if I was to watch as a viewer, I would like to watch, you know?
It is a personal thing, especially, no? And I think that for the boom of street photography, right now there are a lot of people trying to be famous, trying to to get money with this. That is the particular issue. So we can see a lot of staged street photography. That street photography should not be staged, but we see a lot of staged street photography. We see, for example, in festivals, photos that are from a wedding.
Oh yeah.
Sold as street photography.
Yeah.
uh,
Those,
uh,
those are actually, if you do street photography work at a wedding, those are the better
uh-huh,
photos to me, right? Those are the
uh-huh.
better photos than the actual wedding photographer.
Yes.
But going back to your question about making money, I would not recommend it because there's other avenues you can make money in. I think you just learn about the genre and then you like
Yes.
it, you're passionate about it, and then from there you can see if you can monetize off it. But if you're just going straight into it trying to make money, like street
Yes.
photography, of all of all the photography genres, landscape, portraits, journalism, you know, like the last to make money is street photography, you know.
Yes, the issue is also because if you try to sell prints, classic street photography, you can sell prints to other street photographers, but it is rare that you will achieve to sell to other to art collectors or to normal people that
Yeah.
doesn't know what street photography is. No, so I think that is it's difficult. Okay, right now maybe for the boom that is experiencing street photography. Several street photographers make zines and they sell zines to other street photographers usually. So
Yeah.
it is something that okay, how much can last this market? I don't think that much, no. So
Yeah, it's I mean, if you have a following and a demand for it, then you can always put feelers out there and see if people will bite. But I mean, just like the video I did recently, the Trevor Wise Cup zine fiasco,
okay,
like he was
yes,
able to, he's so like, I gotta make part two of that one because there's some updates to that. But he sold like over 400 zines. That's what he said at $50 without shipping. 400 zines for at $50. So, you know, there's gonna be some people that can make money and do those kind of things, but for most people, that's probably not realistic. But yeah,
mhm. What do you think about visual jokes in street photography?
the what kind of jokes?
The visual jokes, for example, a balloon.
Oh, um, it depends. Some photos it can work. Like so, I don't know. It's just like if it's a billboard,
Uh-huh.
And I'm guilty of that because I've shot some. It's just such a low hanging fruit that you have to take it. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't like photographs where I see it and then I know what it is, and then I'm done with it. You know, I want to see a photograph and not have the photographer tell me what it is. I want to see it and then make
Uh-huh.
my own story to it. You know, so
I did have I did have a student in the past
oh
attending one of my workshops. Every time that he took a photo, he should explain me
oh
what
yeah
it was meaning. That is
yeah
terrible because it's like uh, someone making a joke and then he needs to explain that. It's terrible, this. And
right
this happened, in my opinion, with certain street photography. You said that you started with Vivian Mayer. Vivian Mayer never made visual jokes, no? Uh,
yeah
mm, I think that we should think, okay, in 20, in 30 years, I want to see that picture. What is the meaning of that picture? The picture gives us something about the society, about this thing. I think that is important that a photographer makes a step back, leaving out a little bit of the personality. I want to show you what I have seen. I want to show you what is my my attention with this photo, and maybe being more open to the world around us. I think this that street photography can be an extraordinary opportunity to make documentation, to make a commentary about the society. Documenting the human condition and not just to have fun, not just to make these visual jokes that, okay, you can log, you can smile, and after that, what happens with these images? Because when you tell a joke a time, two times, at the third time, you
yeah
get bored with that, no? I think, and you will not get bored with photos like Joel Mayorowitz, with the photos of Vivian Mayer. It is different. Right now, people are looking for the approval on Instagram all the time, and they have success with these visual jokes, but I don't think it's the future of street photography, in my opinion.
um well I think part of it why it's those type of photographs are so trendy is because it catches the attention of the casual fan, the person that doesn't know street photography. So if they scrolling and they see
Mhm.
it, it gets a reaction, immediate reaction. So that's part of the problem with the our the environment we're working in with the Instagram or any social media because people's attention span, they're just
Mhm.
scrolling on their phone. So you need that kind of that wow factor, right? Like something that catches
Yes,
your
in 3
attention.
seconds, no?
Yeah, most people are not gonna stop and analyze the photograph, especially on the phone. It's so the phone doesn't do justice. You gotta see sometimes a simple photograph, if you print it, is like wow, something
Yes.
simple, right? So if you have a complex layer or a little bit more complex street photo, but on the average person is not going to stop on that. Only maybe like you and I, like a fan or somebody that's active in street photography. So I think that's why those type of photographs, they do really well. Although I think it's somewhat dying down the trend. I think it was way more popular before COVID. Um, I could be wrong. I don't know because I'm not on Facebook. I'm not looking on those Facebook groups anymore. But just kind of what I see on Instagram and street contests, I see less comedic shots. Because I
Okay.
remember before COVID, that was the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so popular.
I have seen a lot during the COVID making urban
Yeah.
landscape, for example, because the streets were empty, but really improvised people, really improvised photographers, because if you don't metabolize, if you don't know, for example, the new topographics, no? Stephen Shore, William Eggleston, you can't think to improvise with the urban landscape. It's a peculiar genre, and I have seen a lot of photos forgettable. In fact, if we ask, what about the photos in the COVID era when you stopped to make the classic street photos and you started to make landscape photography?
Mhm.
I think that a lot of these photographers don't want to share anymore that work in that time, no? So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
want to ask you a thing, Tim. Feel the frame,
uh-huh,
the documentary.
uh-huh.
I learned recently that you made that documentary in a weekend in New York. Is real this information or not?
Well, not a week. It was 10 days.
Okay,
Well, it was 10 days. I got all of the interviews, the cast. So
okay,
I shot all the interviews, but then when I came back to Hawaii and then I was editing it, it was still incomplete. So as I was editing it, then I realized, oh, it needs this, it needs that. I need to interview so and so, and then that's why it kind of took a little bit longer than it should have. Um,
mhm.
but yeah, it filmed like the 8 photographers in 10 days.
It is amazing. In 10 days,
It was
you made a great job. I love
oh,
that documentary.
oh
Uh,
thanks.
as it was organized, uh,
Yeah, it was
making.
like I never been to New York,
Mhm.
so I was like I never been to New York. So I just mostly was just try to make it as organized as possible and as efficient as possible.
Okay,
So I hired a cinematographer to handle all the
okay,
camera and all that, and then I had a behind the scenes photographer to take some shots for social media. So I'm kind of like just coordinating everything, producing it. Um, but yeah, it was that's so weird because that was before COVID, 2018. So and it's like
yes.
6 years. Like the time has gone by so fast because I remember like I shot it in June 2018, and then I came back. I worked on it a little bit. Then I needed to shoot some more, so I coordinated that with a few people on the mainland, and then Colin Westerbeck is in LA, so had to coordinate all that, and then try to piece everything together so that it seems seamless, so that it seems like a film, right? Like that's the difference between like a YouTube video and a film. Like a YouTube video, you can just post whatever, like somebody
Right.
walking on the street, uh, you film them, and that's what it is. But a film, it has to all connect. So from one story to the next chapter to the next, it has to connect. So that's
Yes.
where I was moving a lot of, like I had a whiteboard with paper, and I would just move things around. I help to help sequence the film, And so, like for example, going from, who was it? Like we go from, I think it was Dimitri, right?
Mhm.
And his infatuation with Gary Winogrand, and then we transition to talking about Gary Winogrand, right? Gary Winogrand,
Yes.
Tarkovsky, and then from that we go to, I don't remember. I should remember. I don't remember. But it's things. It's those little things like that where, um, just finding how to connect all these stories, because you want to make it make sense for people that are new to street photography. Like, hey, there's a whole history of this genre that people don't really know about, and that history, that past, is influencing people that are shooting today.
Yes.
And
It
the
works
good,
great.
yeah.
I'm sorry. It works great because I given also a conference, a reading about Everybody Street. And to me, your documentary works better in the sense
Oh.
to make the connection is flowing all the time. It's not divided like
Mm,
Everybody Street. Everybody Street is like divided, no?
mm.
More divided. You see parts. You can see mini documentaries. And in your case, there are topics mm, making the documentary a unique body. So I think is interesting that.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is, um, I believe everybody in that film except maybe one has been shooting for like 10 years. So it's not like they're
Okay.
new to the genre. They have a good understanding, a good education, knowledge about the genre, and not just about the genre, but why they shoot. I think a lot of people, especially younger photographers or people that are new, they're just out there shooting. They're just feeling it out, but they don't know the why. And for me, that was important to showcase in the film, because I don't want to just show people walking and what they capture, why they capture. Like, I want to know their backstory,
Mhm.
and that's why I show more of that in the film, or I highlight majority of that part.
Okay. Why you shoot?
Why they shoot, or what inspires them, or what kind of led them to street photography, what led them to photograph.
But you, why you are shooting?
Oh,
Why
why
you
me?
shoot street? Why you?
Me? Oh, it's always different. Like, when I first started, it was just something new, right? It's like new, exciting, and then like nobody in Hawaii that I knew at that time was doing it, so it's just something new. And then because I didn't know anybody doing it, and I didn't even think I was doing it correctly at that time. This is like 2012, so I was like,
Okay.
I'm gonna stop, and then I stopped like maybe 2013, 2015. I didn't shoot 2 years. I didn't shoot at all, because
Okay.
I was like, but I always had it in the back of my mind, like, man, I want to go out and shoot, but when I go out, it's like I don't get anything, or my photo, like I didn't like my photographs. And
Mhm.
this is before being on social media, so I'm not even comparing myself to anybody on social. I'm just comparing myself to like the photo books I'll look at. So it's like, it sounds ridiculous, but that's what it was. And then I saw an ad, a Facebook ad on Street Photo San Francisco. It's a dissolved festival, but it was a street photography festival in San Francisco. I saw a Facebook ad, and I clicked on it. I was like, what is this? I clicked on it, and then they're giving workshops, and it's like San Francisco, Hawaii. It's really close by, and that reeled me in back into street photography. And the founder is Ken Walton, who's a great street photographer himself. He visited maybe 2021, a little bit, still COVID, but not the height of the pandemic. But he visited Hawaii, and I told him that, like, if he didn't start that festival, I don't know if I will still be shooting street. And then so
How is to
after
photograph? Oh, sorry.
yeah, so it's Ken Walton. He's the founder of that festival. And then
Mhm.
so I took a workshop from Jack Simon, who's in Burn My Eye. And
Yes.
I just love the workshop. I always tell people take at least one workshop in your life, and
Okay.
if you like street photography, just take one workshop in your life, because you just hear a different perspective. um, and then the people in the class, like the people in that class were so good. Like I met Paul Kessel in that class, and Jill McGuire, who's in public. I met those two in that class, and there were other people in that class that are really good, and I was like blown away, because I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't doing it for a couple of years, and then I take this workshop, and then it's like, wow, these people really know what they're doing. And then I came back to Hawaii. I was really active, like 2016 or 2016 to 2018. Like I would shoot pretty much every day. Um, and then just the reasoning, I think at that time was just I was working a corporate job, so anytime I could just get away, get out of the office, and just kind of zone out, um, it just felt good. It's kind of like the street photography for me at that time was like a cigarette break, is what I like to
Okay.
compare it. Now for me is I I just do it just to like get some exercise, and then I do have the hope of trying to get a good photograph. Like I do have the expectation, the hope, and that's kind of bad to say, because it's like when you don't get it, you feel like I don't know. I know some people feel this way, like they feel like they waste their time, but for me, it's like um, just try to be competitive with myself. Like I just want to get a good photograph for my own sake,
There is not competition with others. It is a competition with yourself. It is a
Yeah,
challenge with yourself.
yeah.
Mhm. So the train is passing by. I'm sorry, but
Oh, cool.
we
Oh, I don't
listen
hear it.
right now.
Oh,
I
good.
have, I have, I have the train very close here,
Oh,
and
nice.
and how is to photograph in Hawaii?
Hawaii is, well, there's the main where I mostly go and shoot is Waikiki. It's like the main it's like the main area, tourists, visitors. There's surfers, there's locals, there's visitors,
Okay.
and then there's the beach. Um, but it's kind of like any other main city. It's just a lot of foot traffic. And then there's areas where there's pockets of lights. Uh, um, but I don't know. I've been kind of getting tired of photographing the same spot, so I definitely need to travel just to mix it up. Um, but yeah, to me, it's just like sometimes the location. We all think like traveling helps. I guess it kind of does sometimes, but um, at the end of the day, the location is the same. It's just really what your instincts and your knowledge. Um, you're always gonna fall back on that. But yeah.
I am not wrong that I watched a competition made in Hawaii of street photographers
Really?
with you, no? It was you with other photographers making a
Oh, the
street
street challenge.
photography.
Yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
a maybe we'll do it again and you can be the judge.
Okay.
Yeah, that one,
Okay.
man, that was it's a fun concept idea, but yeah, I would like to definitely get back to that one and just kind of tweak the format a little bit. But it's fun to just get people out and then see what we can get within the hour or two, and then have a guest, like yourself or somebody to
Okay.
review it, judge it. It's good for the people here to hear feedback.
Uh-huh.
It's just a good connection, collaboration.
I would love
Uh,
that.
Yeah, I love to do it. It's hard to get everybody at once out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but definitely the next one we'll have you as the judge.
Oh, okay. I want to visit Hawaii sincerely because you know I watched in the 80s. I am an old guy. I watched in the 80s Fantasyland and Magnum
Oh,
PI,
yeah,
the
right.
series, no? So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Hawaii 5-0.
uh,
Well, Hawaii 5-0 was before that, but yeah. Um, yeah, everybody has that
yes.
idea of Hawaii. But yeah, you're welcome anytime. I mean, we're basically neighbors, you know. You're welcome anytime. I have a couch. You can sleep on the couch.
Okay, thank you. Tim, the role of technology. What can be the role of technology, changing technology right now? We are assisting to artificial intelligence
Yeah.
inside the cameras right now. How can produce for the street photography? Mm,
Oh man.
in terms of approach aesthetics, I don't know if it's good, if it's bad.
Well, the idea of mixing AI with street photography is a scary one. I think. I think when that happens, something has to happen within that because well, going a little bit back, I honestly think we're in a street photography bubble. You know, kind of like a
Uh-huh.
housing bubble. And I wrote a blog about this. I don't know, maybe before COVID, that we're we're in the street photography bubble where it's so popular. Everybody's doing it, and people that think it's street photography are doing it. You know, like people on TikTok that do portraits but call it street photography. I don't know why they do that. Maybe it looks cooler. But they have like so many followers, right? But so I wrote that before COVID, the street photography bubble, and then fast forward to 2024, I think the bubble is even bigger. So it's
Yes.
good in the sense like it's good in the sense that it's popular. Like street photography is popular, it's getting a little bit mainstream. So it needs the genre needs to evolve to that level for all of us to, you know, get a little piece of the pie, right? It needs to go a little bit mainstream, but I think what's going to be the tipping point and what really makes people lose interest in street photography or the crash of it is when somebody wins the competition or something, when they mix AI with street photography and they get caught for
Mhm.
it. I think that's what's going to happen. I think something like that. Because if, like in Fill the Frame, Richard Sandler, he said street photography was popular like in the 60s and 70s, 50s, you know,
Yes.
it was really popular. And then for some reason, the 80s, it just fell off. And I think at that time, people were just more interested in different type of art, like more abstract art. So that's why it
Mhm.
kind of fell off. And then social media kind of revived it, right? So that's the kind of state we're in. So I mean, it's hard because there's always a limit to the technology that you want to implement on street photography or your photographs. Like the basic things are like Lightroom, you know, like Photoshop, that kind of basic adjustment, not removing or adding in people or subjects. You know, you're just doing like touch ups to shadows, you know, basic stuff like that. You know, um, but once you start removing things and adding a horse and adding a
Mhm.
dog and changing the person's hair from black to blue, then it's gonna really, because once the person does that, they do something so simple like that, like changing the hair color, and then if they blow up for it, like they become popular for it, they're gonna keep pushing the limits, right? It's kind of like a magician on the street. They do the
Yes.
juggling, and then people want more, so they do something else, and then they do something else, and then the stakes get higher and higher, and then all of a sudden it just explodes. So I anticipate it to happen. I don't know how soon, but I anticipate it to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Last question before to say bye to our followers. An advice to the ones starting right now with street photography.
Advice
What
to
would be?
advice to people that are starting street photography is to try everything. So shoot with the 50mm lens, shoot with a 35, get close,
with
go far, use flash, don't use flash. Try everything and then just see what you like. Or even like people that are just new to photography, do landscape, do portrait, just try it all and then see which genre really connects with you. And then once you find that genre, just stick with it and then just go with it every day.
Okay, Tim. Many thanks. It is an honor to me to have you in my channel. I am very happy because never we talked like that, no?
Wow, that was fast.
So
that
I
was
think
46
that we
minutes?
can repeat.
Wow.
What?
That was fast.
Yes, that was fast because it was a pleasure, no? It was funny.
Yeah.
I think we should repeat this, maybe talking about a main topic, about street photography or other stuff connected with photography, no?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, anytime.
So,
this was fun.
I've written I linked your website. If you want to add another social that we can find you.
Yeah, you can. My website is Tim and my last name HUYNH photography.com, and then my YouTube. I'm trying to pump out YouTube content and have fun with it. It's Word on the Street Photo. So YouTube.com Word on the Street Photo. You can find different various type of content, like Alex mentioned, the Hawaii Street Challenge. I'm gonna be posting a Beyond the Frame Legends Series 2, hopefully next week. So that's good if you want educational type content. If you want commentary content, there's the contest review, or Trevor Wise Cup zine situation. But if you don't want to see my face at all, then just watch Fill the Frame. It's free. Fill the Frame is free now on my YouTube channel. You can watch it as much as you like. It's a good starter for people that are new to street photography, but also I think people that are kind of stagnant in their street photography, kind of complacent. If you watch that film, hopefully it inspires you to go back out there with your camera.
Super recommended.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim. Thank you. A big hug from Mexico. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Ariane.
Thanks, man. Ciao.